Right, it's time now for today's Focus Report. We're prepared to die or kill for cows, the words of a member of a Hindu cow vigilante group in India. In June, Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke out against violence by such groups, but only after nationwide protests against a string of attacks on minority Muslims. Cows are considered holy by many Hindus. Philomène Remy and Mandakini Garlot report.
We're going to our checkpoint in Saharanpur, a place from where cows are smuggled in, and we will hunt down these cow smugglers.
It's 2 in the morning. Vijayakant Chauhan is on his way to meet his men, a group of Hindu vigilantes who have formed a self-appointed militia to defend cows. This is their last briefing before they begin their illegal patrol.
We're going to set up another checkpoint here to stop all trucks. For our country and for our religion, we will do anything. For cows, who are like mothers to us, we will not hesitate to kill or die for them. We were told that 3 or 4 vehicles are transporting cows or beef. We will not allow the killing of even one single cow.
In recent months, violence instigated by Hindu vigilantes has often resulted in public lynchings of Muslims in Uttar Pradesh, a state as populous as Brazil with its 200 million inhabitants.
They're afraid, and they know we won't let them pass if they come here. They know we will catch them, beat them, and set them right.
Often, the situation can become very tense.
Shots are sometimes fired, with bullets flying everywhere, sometimes right in front of the police.
The police is only a few meters away, but they appear unconcerned about this illegal checkpost. Tonight, these vigilantes fail in their mission. But often, assaults by them turn fatal, and now mere suspicion is enough to trigger an attack.
5 persons have been rounded up so far on charges of beating up 4 Dalit youths who skinned a dead cow in Gir Somnath district of Gujarat.
The primary targets are Dalits, sometimes called untouchables, the Christians, and especially the Muslim minority. Recently, 4 young Muslim siblings were stabbed on a train. One amongst them, 16-year-old Junaid, lost his life in that attack. We met his brother in their village, barely 50 kilometers from the capital.
Some 20 to 25 people boarded the crowded train. They were pushing everyone, including Junaid. So we asked them, "Why are you pushing us?" They saw our cap and said, "You are a Muslim, you eat beef, you are a Pakistani, you are anti-national, you are a traitor," and then they started beating us.
It was a murder that shocked the entire nation.
We called for help, but everyone said, "They're Muslims, beat them. They are traitors and beef eaters. Beat them."
Community leaders have called for calm.
Muslims are afraid, they are worried and angry. The elders within the Muslim community are trying to prevent this anger from exploding into violence.
While some say that the lynchings are a spontaneous display of anger, others believe it's an orchestrated hate campaign. In the capital, New Delhi, we speak with Professor Apurvanand Jha.
So when we say mob, it gives you a feeling of spontaneity, as if there's an anger and this mob gathers. We have to understand that this spontaneity in itself has been organized. There's an organized spontaneity. And you have formal, informal groups working, which have a tacit understanding with the police and authorities.
Back in Saharanpur, it's not just the police that tacitly supports Vijayakant. Most families here have no objection to him spreading propaganda in local schools.
You have no idea who the people around you really are. A member of your family, your tenant, your landlord, your neighbor, your friends, your fellow students. Who are they? They can be terrorists. They can be Muslim jihadists. And you do not know what they really think of you.
It's not the first time these children have heard such hate-filled messages.
We're afraid of the Muslims. They're strangers. Even our relatives do not allow us to hang out with them.
All Muslims are terrorists. I cannot be friends with a Muslim because they are anti-nationals.
Analysts predict that by 2050, India will be home to the largest Muslim population in the world. The current spate of lynchings threatens the nation's famed ideals of unity despite religious differences.
For more on this, I'm now joined in the studio by Charlotte Thomas, director of the Nouria South Asia programme, and she also teaches at Sciences Po University here in Paris. Hello, thank you very much for coming in. Now, how much worse has violence in the name of religion got under Narendra Modi?
So actually, since there was a recent survey that states that since 2014, 90% of the attacks against Muslims took place since 2014. So actually, since Narendra Modi is a prime minister, so we had attacks before Narendra Modi's arrival to the power, but with him, it's like a new scale in this violence, especially against Muslims, minority.
And he's occasionally spoken out against this, most recently on Independence Day. But really, the government has been silent mostly on this issue. Why is that?
Yeah, because actually there is a twofold policies by the BJP. I mean, Narendra Modi is from the BJP, so the political party which is like his core ideology is Hindutva, which is the will of an India without any Muslims or Christian minorities. So pure Hindu India. So that's the reason why you have, of course, he's a prime minister, so he has to take this stand and say he's against the violence. But on the backstage, Amit Shah, who is the head of the BJP, so the Prime Minister party, he is making the hatred discourses, and he's against Muslims, and he nurtures actually this climate of angst and anger against the minority.
So these vigilantes, these groups that go around punishing people for either transporting beef or eating beef, they are going around, they're not being punished by anyone.
No, there is no. Culprits are not culprits. You know, they can vanish and they don't have any trial or they are not punished for that. But victims are twofold victims, because after they were targeted, the discourse is that okay, we will check if they were actually carrying beef meat, which is not a way to take care of victims. And we should add that this violence regarding beef goes with a broader spectrum of nationalism, Hindu nationalism, because meanwhile you also have campaigns such as Garhwaspi, which is like a campaign to reconvert Muslims to Hinduism. You also have in some states the rewriting of historic books, textbooks, to try to erase any proof of the Mughal legacy in the Indian history. So it's not only these attacks for the beef eaters, it's a more broad project.
You mentioned
agenda,
So as far as books in schools, it's only concerning certain states, and it's only some states that ruled, I understand, by the BJP that have also adopted cow protection laws. Could you tell us a bit about that then, how these laws have changed also under Modi?
Because they are more and more hardcore laws, because you also... First of all, you have to know that in many states, even Muslims don't eat cow meat. They eat buffaloes, different types of meat related to the cow, but not cow, because they are like used to live with Hindu and nearby them, so they don't consume this kind of beef that much. So it's more like a gesture from the government to say that we will ban cow meat. And so to get back to this laws, they are more and more harder and harder against what you can eat, so no buffaloes, no cow, and many different types of buffaloes as well are now forbidden for the consumption. So these laws are made in the name of defending animals and co-protections, which is not actually the real and genuine purpose of these laws.
You mentioned earlier how the Prime Minister, you said that he's against Muslims, and we heard towards the end of that report, some people calling Muslims terrorists. Is that a widely held misconception in India?
Yeah, actually, since the partition in 1947, many Muslims are suspected of being like terrorism or pro-Pakistan, and they're suspected of being like enemy within, India. And you have to know that Narendra Modi is part of the RSS, which is like a kind of fascism groups. He was raised and born in this movement, and then he joined the BJP, and then he became the chief minister of Gujarat and the prime minister of India. But when he was the chief minister of Gujarat in 2002, under his rule, actually, pogroms, anti-Muslim pogroms took place in Gujarat, and 2,000 Muslims were killed, and he agreed for that. I mean, we have many reports stating that he agreed for that to take place. So, yeah.
And it's not just Muslims, though, who are the victims of these vigilante groups, though, right?
Yeah, Dalits as well. So Dalits are what we call actually intouchables, but Dalit is their political names, and it's better to call them this way. So Dalit, actually, who are Hindu by their origin, also consume beef meat, because it's very cheap, and so that they can get the proteins that they are not able to get in different, like, vegetable food, for instance. So, yeah, Dalits are also victims of that, of these co-vigilant groups.
So how do you see the situation moving forward?
Actually, it's not getting better, this is for sure, because, as I said, many campaigns, movements such as like the Gaharwaspi, so conversions, rewriting books, try to love jihad also, which is something like a campaign led by the Hindu to recapture Hindu women in love with Muslim guys, to save them from the Muslim guys. So it's not getting better, and there is like a vibrant silence on the international stage, because this echo the international climate stating that Muslims are terrorists. So, like Narendra Modi, to that extent, can do to some extent what he wants, because no one is paying attention to what is going on so far.
Well, we've at least brought attention to this issue today here on Focus. Thank you very much indeed for taking the time to speak to us and for your analysis, Charlotte Thomas. And thank you for watching. I'll be back at the top of the hour. Do stay tuned to France 24.